Hello, good morning to you all, and thank you for joining us on our webinar today dedicated to the topic which is extremely important for all of us working in not only in HR but also working on leadership positions. So today we will give you a bit more information and insights about the trends that we are all facing globally related to talent management. And also we will share some of the best practices from our clients, how they are actually tackling talent management, as you can see, in a constantly changing world. So thank you, first of all, for joining us. I hope that it will be an interesting experience for all the people present. And I would kindly like to invite you to be open, to send us your views, suggestions, questions through the chat and the Q&A.
So, Violeta, maybe we can wait 1 more minute so people can join, because you know how it goes. People join last minute, so we can give it 1 or 2 minutes. Then we can start.
So, Jana, in respect to those who managed to join us in time, maybe I should start with just a general introduction. So people who join in later will start from the beginning of a specific topic. But as a start, I would like to say just a few words about who we are. We are Assessment Systems International, of course, surprise, surprise, international company. And despite that our name is somehow, directing towards assessing people, mainly majority of our projects are actually dedicated towards partnering with our clients in the field of employee development. Yes, of course, we use different types of assessment as I would say as tools for actually diagnosis or seeing what is happening on the field. And basically we create all of our development activities based upon the outcomes of different types of assessment. So you can see, I will not read through the slide, but basically we are a Central Eastern based company, but on the other hand, we have a lot of global clients that we are working with and that we are helping in basically developing their human potentials. So even though we are, as I said, based in Central and Eastern Europe, we have a very developed network of our external consultants all over the world. So this is just briefly about us. And now about us personally. You already noticed my name, you already noticed the name of my colleagues, but I will just tell you a few words. I'm Violeta Lucic, Managing Partner of Assessment Systems Adria, and also partner in charge of learning and development in Assessment Systems International. You also see my colleague here, Jana Mesaroshova. She's a senior consultant in Assessment Systems Czech Republic, but also she is in charge for all of our training and development activities on international level. So you are here now with the creative people from Assessment Systems International. So I hope this will be a fun experience with us. But what I am sure that the experience will be great with our guest speaker today, Mr. Ivan Skender, who is actually a member of leadership team and senior director in charge for transformation and HR from A1 Croatia. This is one of our really long-standing partners and clients. So at the beginning, I would kindly ask Jana to give us some short overview about what is happening with the workforce globally, what are the trends, and what are the challenges that we need to tackle if we already didn't. So please, Jana.
Thank you very much, Violeta, for the introduction and for the words. First of all, I would like to say that the data I'm about to present come from are very fresh. They come from the fresh Future of Jobs report from World Economic Forum. It came out, I think, in April, so it's really, really new. The data were collected from November 2022 to February 2023, so they really reflect the situation on the job market nowadays, and they represent 27 industry clusters and more than 800 unique responses, which represent more than 11.3 million employees worldwide. So I'm sure you will find some interesting insights and maybe some food for thought you can, contemplate about later on. So let's start. Let's see what exactly is driving the business transformation nowadays. Like, what are the trends? Well, first of all, and that's an obvious driver, is the increased adoption of new and frontier technologies, together with broadening digital access. That's a no-brainer, I would say. That's something we also saw in the previous report, and the trend still continues. What is new, however, is the trend of the ESG standards, so the implementation of environmental, social, and governance standards, which is a must for the company. So that's something which is really shifting the business transformation as well. Then, unfortunately, there are the rising costs of living, the inflation, the whole macroeconomic situation worldwide, together with slower global economic growth, which we are experiencing right now. And the green transition, that's something also which was not seen in the previous report. So that's also an important driver of the transformation, which will create new jobs, new roles we haven't seen before. And together with the slower global economic growth and higher costs of living and everything, inflation, we tackle the supply shortages and the rising cost of inputs. And this is also interesting. Consumers are becoming more vocal on social issues, so they want the companies to be responsible, socially responsible, and they care about the environment, about the people who work there, about their communities. And climate change, obviously, it's also together with the green transition. It goes hands in hand. And the last one is that the supply chain becomes more localized. So it's also related to the whole macroeconomic atmosphere nowadays. What's important to take from this information is that most of these drivers will cost net job growth. So there will be some destruction of jobs, but the overall result will be job growth. So new positions, new job roles emerging. So as I said, the largest job creation and destruction effects come from environmental, technological, and economic trends, as we see on the infographics. So the technology is both the driver in the positive way, like it will create more jobs, but it also will kill some of the jobs because they will be obsolete, they will be not so important anymore. And the economic outlook, the inflation, the rising cost of inputs will definitely be a killer, but the whole net sum is is the growth of jobs. So I would like to point again once more the green transition, which is something really unique and quite new, and that's happening nowadays. So there will be new jobs like sustainability specialist or solar energy specialists, renewable energy engineers, and so on. So that's something we will probably observe from now on. So if we have a look at the whole picture of the jobs destruction and job creation, we will see that 23% of today's jobs will change somehow. Some of it they will be lost. Some of them will stay, but then there will be also the new jobs. But the overall estimation is that 23% of jobs will change. It will be changed by technology, of course. However, what we are also noticing is that the automation which is being implemented by businesses is not that fast as expected previously, as it was anticipated. Because in the previous report, we saw that by 2025, there will be like the development or division of labor between humans and machines will be almost 50-50, and that's not happening. It's being slowed down. The reasons we might guess, for example, there may be the rising cost. The people are not so willing to, the transformation isn't happening so fast. But that's the overview. For the next few years is going to be that 43% will be done by machines and 57% by humans. But let's take this number again with with some, not with pinch of salt, but it might change because the expectations previously was very much higher. So the fact is that it's becoming or happening slower than we expected. We can have a look at like what are the fastest growing versus fastest declining jobs. It's also not really surprising because the top 10 fastest growing jobs are related to technologies, to AI, machine learning, and on the second place there is a sustainability specialist. Again, something we didn't see before. And the declining jobs will be more like manual and the repetitive kind of jobs. However, I would like to stress here that the skills we thought will be automated, we thought that it's going to be mostly manual skills, but it's not really the case because we can see that also the natural traits of human, like reasoning, organization, coordination, is being automated. So not so much the manual work, for example, in the construction area, building houses, but the traits that are very natural for people are being automated as well. So the companies, like how they tackle this shift and these new needs for new job roles, well, the companies worldwide are experiencing skill gaps in their local job markets. And they are unable to attract talent. In Czech Republic, for example, it's a massive problem because we have probably the lowest unemployment rate in the whole European Union. So it's kind of a tricky situation here. And the strategy, how to tackle and how these gaps and the inability to attract talent is by investment in learning and training on the job. So we have some people in our companies that are there, and we need to reskill them, upskill them, so they have new skills. And also the automation of processes is also another way how to tackle this lack of or the skill gap. So the overview, like how many workers are expected to be reskilled, is 44%. The previous number from the previous report was 50%, but so it's a slightly lower, probably related to the slower automation which is being implemented. But the overview for the next 5 years is that the 44% of people will need some reskilling. And when we have a look at like what types of skills are really required now, is the analytical thinking and the cognitive skills in general are the ones that will be relevant for the nearest future. So it's analytical thinking and creative thinking, while creative thinking is becoming more and more important. I mean, the difference between the analytical thinking and creative thinking is diminishing. So the creative thinking is becoming really gaining more importance. Faster and faster, related to the analytical thinking. And then we have also, the soft skills like resilience, flexibility, so people can adapt to changes. And leadership and social influence is very important as well, and lifelong learning, because as we saw, many people will have to learn new things. So the adoption and this, growth mindset, let's say, will be really important for the employees if they want to survive on the job market. However, if we look at the risk, these were just the general skills that are important by or considered important by the employees or employers. Sorry. However, when we look at the reskilling and upskilling priorities and the focus on the trainings, AI and big data is probably number one compared to to the overall skills that were shown previously. And also design and user experience, and leadership and social influence. And environmental stewardship is also very important as well. So these hard skills, because they are, easily trained than analytical thinking, but it goes hand in hand. If you learn how AI works, how machine learning works, how data science works, you get you need some analytical thinking. So it's related. But the companies will really focus on these mostly these three areas: design and user experience, leadership and social influence, AI and big data. Okay, so that's the overview. So what maybe the key ideas from here is the world is changing. The machines will not take our job so soon. However, it's the proportion is becoming more or less 50 to 50 soon, but we will see. But what is important is that it no longer applies that the machines will the machines or robots will take the manual jobs only. Because what we see with ChatGPT, for example, is that it's really good tool for coming up with new ideas, organizing, thinking, or taking information from the massive source of information. So the natural skills of humans can be automated as well. So that's something we didn't really think will happen in the past. Okay, so that was kind of scary, but I'm sure our guests, Ivan and Violeta, will have some more positive comments. So let's discuss.
Thank you very much, Jana, for this great introduction. Before we move forward to see how these changes are being tackled in the field, in the companies, especially A1, of course, Croatia, I did a formal introduction of you, Ivan, but I would like to kindly ask you to say a few words about yourself, especially from the perspective of being a person, and after hearing everything that Jana said, you are the person who is, as I previously mentioned, a leadership team member, but you are in charge for HR and digital transformation. So how do you feel? And please tell us a bit more about your personal experiences and yourself.
Yes. Hi all. Ivan from A1 Croatia. I'm based in Zagreb. Originally I'm engineer by vocation. That was all the time running in ICT and telco business. I was as well working at some point of time in Bratislava and Prague, working for T-Mobile and Slovak Telecom. So I quite well known the area. All the time my area of responsibility was developing new products, transforming companies, growing new businesses. So everything that was kind of unknown and untackled was somewhere in my part of tasks. I joined A1 beginning of 2017, originally responsible for strategy and transformation and digital transformation and customer experience and how to tackle all the new technologies to fit to wishes of employees and customers. And at some point of time, I was handed over as well the responsibility of HR to connect as well how we are going to change skills of the employees, how we are going to change leadership to fit for the future changes, how to HR agenda, people agenda incorporate into transforming and being competitive on the long run as a company, but as well as employees. So this is the fun part. So I'm not someone with the HR background formal, but experience more wise. I'm trying to combine the both worlds, transforming and digitally transforming, technological transforming, and people who are using technologies, how they are going to transform both leaders, but as well the employees. So big topic for us is reskilling and being competitive on the market with the skills on the long run.
Exactly, Ivan. This is basically my first question for you. Having in mind what Jana was mentioning, the transition of the skills priority and the need for reskilling of employees, I wanted to ask you how do you do it, and what is your strategy in A1 Croatia? Do you have one? That's the first question. And if you do, how does it?
Yeah. So I'm very happy to see the slides in the beginning, and I shared with Violetta and Jana in the before the materials, because the same source, the Future World Economic Forum Future of Jobs report, is the great inspiration for myself, and we did a very nice project just last week, where we actually said, this what we know about the technologies doesn't know the big public, and let's give back to the community the knowledge we have in a way to create future skills and future jobs that will be growing and future jobs that will be decreasing, and how people can tackle the change that is happening. Therefore, we developed one interactive page with our partners, one education institution, one startup company, one IT company, Microsoft, us, that we did the future skills, we call it Vještine budućnosti overview. Maybe Anna as well, you can share the website. It's in Croatian because it's just launched for Croatian market. But yes, what is how that we created this interactive map for 12 industries, as you can see it, what will be happening in each of the industries, overview of ICT, finance, agriculture, health, retail. As well, we had a special selection on the Gen Z, because this is, especially in Croatia, for us in A1 Croatia, that's 30% of our workforce, how they see the work-life balance, how they see the reskilling, how they see themselves, what they value in life, so how they will see the job. Then we especially did the special selection on AI. What AI
Would you,
is.
Ivan, excuse me for interrupting. Could you share with me the statistics and with all of our participants about the number or the percentage of Gen Z? Currently, you have some statistics related to A1. That was very interesting for me, so maybe it will be for our participants.
So we have seen that in our strategy, different generation has a different wishes, because they're in different life cycle of the different cycle of their life. So currently in A1, we have 50% of employees that are between 30 and 40. We have 30% of Gen Z, I call it up to 30. And we have 20% of employees that are 40 plus. And some are with grown-up kids and long with us in the company. Some are with small kids, or just starting the family, and some of them are the singles or couples that are still want to have fun and explore about the life, about the jobs. So it's kind of very important for us to tackle all three generations. But important is to say that all new entrants, all new employees, all new candidates that are joining the company, 50% of them are Gen Z. They are really born 96 or later. So we need to learn how to lead them. We need to learn how to interact with them. We need to understand what they want of the life. So this is something what is for us very, very important. Second big topic on this was AI. What will AI do? Because this was the biggest topic. And will AI disrupt and change the jobs and kill some jobs? And I always say, and this was my clear statement last week when we were announcing it to the press, we said AI is not going to kill the jobs. but people who know how to use AI will kill those who does not know how to use the AI. So I always welcome everyone, start understanding a little, try ChatGPT. Try understand the data models, try understand the statistics, to understand how AI can apply in your everyday job. I always say to my people, my employees in HR, let's use basics in recruiting. Let's use basics in talent management. Let's use predictive models in people analytics, in HR topics that are core, because those who will be using it will be running it faster than those who will be not using it. And that's the story on AI. So actually, that's it, the story on AI, the new generation. And the last topic was skilling. There were some people from education institutions, and actually we all agreed everything you need to know, you have even more on YouTube than you have it at universities. And whoever wants needs to find it and needs to have time and wish to learn it. And therefore, we were discussing about disruption of university, and actually we said, we don't see that the university will be disrupted, but people will complement with much easier formats to learn. But universities and high school will be creating the critical thinking, exactly as Jana said in the beginning. This is something you will not learn on YouTube. You will more learn it from the experience, from the wish, how to do analysis, how to do synthesis, how to do conclusions. So this is something what is quite important.
Well, I would like to really congratulate you. This seems like a very challenging project, but I assume you had great partners in it, and I think it's extremely useful, especially for the upcoming generations. Since you said when you were presenting yourself that you have a long experience in HR, could you please share with us your thoughts, apart from what we already mentioned, what are the changes in the jobs, in the skill set, and so on? What do you see as the crucial changes that happened in the area of talent management? So selection, development, retaining and keeping the best. So what do you see as the basic, I would say, differences when you compare the activities 2 or 3 years ago with the ones that are being planned or implemented currently?
Yeah, so I think that the job market has quite drastically changed post-corona. We are seeing the great resignation because people say, now it's time that my life has health component, private component, social component, and work component, and I'm not going to be in the work that is not making me fun, that is not inspiring me, that has no purpose, that I'm not learning the new stuff. So I'm going to change. And the big story about the great resignation has happened, especially last year. This year we are seeing even more, a little bit more layoffs, but as well we are seeing the great regret, I call it. We see many times people leave and see grass is not greener somewhere else. So maybe my life was quite nice. So people are evaluating what will be their work-life balance. What is this? What is important to them? And therefore, we changed our talent story because we introduced a very individual talent management program through which we detect who are our key people and how to see what is important to each one of them individually. Someone has smaller kids, needs more flexibility. Someone wants to learn and has faster learning or career growth. Some of them would like to grow horizontally. Someone would like to go to explore international experience. Each of them has a different wish and a different need. And this is something what we wanted to especially tackle in the talent management, in the detection of our key people. This is when we are talking about our existing employees. However, we are seeing as well the changes in the selection recruiting. People have bigger wishes on flexibility. People have special wishes on the work-life balance, differently evaluate their bosses. So this is as well something what we are trying to tackle, to see who is the best fit, because we believe in the selection and recruiting, the old thing stays the same. There needs to be a fit between the one who is hiring and the one who is hiree, and the both needs to be happy in this relationship, and this stays the same. However, opportunities for employees, for candidates are much bigger now than they were 10 years ago. So, and they have much bigger access to this. And the last thing is especially leadership. Who are the leaders and what are the profile of the leaders for the long run? Do they know to be inspiring? Do they know to be more mentors? Do they understand how to lead different generations? Command and control is something that is not flying anymore, and whoever wants to do it and build the relationship on command and control will going to die. More empathic, more human-centric, more inspirational, more mentorship is more important than whoever is going to command and control. And I am the best one, because very simple, technology has changed so much that you, as a big boss of 20 years of experience, including myself, I don't know anymore so much as the new generations. And I cannot command if I don't know the content. It was easy to command in the past when you were the biggest person with the biggest knowledge in the room. But today, new generations with YouTube, with technologies, have the access to those informations, and they can compete to you with the knowledge. And now, if I command and they contra-argue me with even bigger knowledge than myself, do I have a credibility to command? Therefore, this skill set of more human-centric, empathic leadership is much more important for keeping the best talents and gaining the best talents from the market in the company.
Exactly. So I wanted to ask you, you spoke a lot about expectations of the candidate, expectations of the talents. Basically, you described how do you tackle it, but how do you keep the best? So what is your strategy, and what is the message, let's say, that the company wants to send out internally to all the employees, but also to external potential candidates?
Yeah, so this is I would say, there is, I sent to Violetta and Jana one slide, what is our human-centered strategy?
So maybe, Anna, we can...
I will share it.
This slide actually is the main slide of our strategy, through which we are communicating to the company what is how we see behaviors in the company, but as well how we see leadership in the company. It is based on something what Gartner says, it's called human deal. And we say, you as an employee have obligation to ask for some things from the company, but as well employee has the obligation to give it to you, but as well ask some other things from you. And this human deal, when both sides say, I give you this as an employer, and you can ask for this because I gave you this as an employee, is something what is a human deal or human at center, what we focus. And these are exactly 4 areas through which we say how we see on the long run our behaviors. On one side, we ask from every employee, take ownership. Take ownership to act like an owner, to have the ambitious goal, to take responsibility for your actions. You are your career guide. On the other side, we can offer you, or we will offer you, transparency, autonomy, clarity on the ambitions, clarity on process, simplification of the work. On the topic of learn and innovate, take ownership of your development, ask for feedback, learn new stuff, experiment, take risks. On the other side, we will democratize learning. We will give you all the materials, all what you need, including psychologically safe environment where you can learn, where you can get the budgets for learning, even you can get the time for learning, when you can try to experiment this. So on one side, take it. We give you for free, but on the other side, learn it. Have the responsibility because you learn it and you share it with the community and try it. Be responsible for yourself, for your community in the area of consciously care. But as well, we will have a clear purpose. You will have the possibility to, through volunteering, to give back to the community. We will be fair in sustainability, in compensation. But on the other side, be consciously care for customers, colleagues, partners, act with integrity. And last story is beyond limits. Have fun. Don't be in your, we are a company of total A1 is 18,000 employees in Central Eastern Europe. Look for opportunities to collaborate, share ideas between the countries, between the departments. Come to the office for collaboration. Don't only work from home and don't have interaction with the people. On the other side, we will give you the possibility to connect to the people. We will give you the possibility to work remotely when you need it, especially when you are on individual focused routine tasks. So this is called yin and yang of the life. We give you something, and on the other side, we can ask for it. You give us something, and therefore we provide you as well the relationship of yin and yang, where the two parties can really have the I give you a lot, but as well you give me a lot. And always the main story is the flexibility. I always say sometimes you will work 10 hours a day, but then you will have days when you need, because of your family and the health and the kids, take bigger flexibility and go early home because you have a meeting in the school or with the kids training. So that's the flexibility for us. Sometimes I invest, but as well on the other side, I can ask for. I will get all the materials to learn on LinkedIn, Udemy, Coursera, learning agenda. But on the other side, I will take my time, learn it, share it with friends, and implement it in the practice. So that's the story how we see this. Yin and yang is the and basis is the human deal from Gartner, if you have seen it. So yes. For everyone. This is how we see and communicate, and then there is a special section, we call it leadership, and that we are currently developing. How leaders behave in take ownership, how leaders behave in learning, how leaders behave in purpose and consciously care, how leaders behave in teaming up. And this is something what we are working on currently. This is just fresh from the beginning of this year.
Yes, I actually wanted to thank you very much for the transparency and for sharing, everything that you shared with us today. And this concept is something that is completely aligned with the future of jobs, with all of the new concepts. So we heard about the A1 philosophy. We heard about behaviors that are nurtured or wanted, and so on. Could you shed a bit more light on how do you actually, I would say in everyday activities, how do you tackle talent identification and development? What concrete activities are you taking on in order to make sure that the best are identified and that they are staying within the company, of course?
Yeah, and I would maybe add, what is the ratio between hiring for potential versus hiring for hard skills? How do you see this?
Yeah, I would say, let me first answer Jana's question because it's the easier. We are usually hiring maybe 150 people yearly. Hiring for hard skills, technologies has changed so much that the hard skills are maybe 10%.
Okay.
Very small. 10 to 20% are those that are really where we don't do well, and we need to hire really from the market expertise. All the rest is hiring for potential. New generations, young generations, we promote internally the talents and then give them the newbies, the new trainees or practice participants that they join and then they stay with us. So that's the story, because we see the two things. One, the promoter, existing employees, is very happy to get a new junior that he is mentor now, so he feels appreciated. The new generation feels appreciated because they have a mentor, the new employees. And the last thing is, it's a yin-yang again. He brings the experience, the old one, the experienced employee. The new employee brings some new generation technological advancement to the someone who is for years with us in the company. So that's the story. I would say 10 to 20, 80-20. 80 for potential, 20 then for hard skills. On the talent management program, we have a very simple process. We, end of the year, do the evaluation of performance and potential of all employees very actively, to divide them in the 4 categories, like who are underperforming, who are quite okay, who are super performing. And then a special category is okay performing or super performing, but with a high potential. And this is a category we call talent pool. In the talent pool, we do individual talks with all the talents and see what are your career aspirations, what you miss of the skills, what you would like to learn, where you see yourself in the future. Based on this, we create their individual development plan. What is this? What is how to say? What
The
is
need
this? His need? We create him development, learning. We send him, if he's on a managerial track, to assessment as well, to see how he views it Hogan, and we really see what is the real potential of a person and where is the gap that can happen. And based on this, we create him a learning program and mentorship program through 1 year where he can work on this. And based on this becomes, after 1 year, after cleaning all the process and the learning and mentorship, it becomes a successor pool. So top candidates become a successor pool for the new positions or newly vacant positions inside. So main story is individual talk, career talk, individual development opportunity, individual learning budget for them to learn the skills, potentially assessment for some of the candidates, and mentor. So these 5 things are, so we call it mandatory for, and we try to be simple. We don't want to explore, because the more things we do, the more we are dispersed. Therefore, we like to have it very practical and concrete.
Yes, and I would just, since we are partnering in the segment of assessing potential and actually delivering development centers for the talents in A1, I would just like to add for all of the participants to know, what I really appreciate is the fact that it's not just about, okay, this is an individual who has potential, but actually we organize sessions with you where you are very eager to hear and to learn how you can accelerate the I would say, advancement and the development of each individual from the perspective of what's superior, how superior could contribute additionally, but also how HR HR can support it. So this is something that I always like to mention. Working with a lot of clients, we notice that sometimes it is being missed. Yes, responsibility for individual development should be on the person who is actually trying and working on its own development, but also on the other hand, the crucial thing is support from superiors, but also from HR department. And this is something that I really noticed is very, very active and existing very lively in A1 information. So just my 2 cents. Jana, do you maybe have more questions? Or as I already mentioned to our audience, please feel free to give your comments, to agree or disagree with anything that we have shared here. And of course, I am inviting you to ask anything that you are interested in. I wouldn't say that this is a unique opportunity to ask something to Ivan Skender, but I feel that you could use it. Yeah.
Feel free to ask, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't have any more questions because everything was told, or the most important things. I'm really surprised in a positive way by your hiring strategy, because I think it's very enlightened, I would say, that you hire mostly for potential, because hard skills can be learned, and since our overview of the future is is not really clear, although we saw some predictions, saw some data, but it's being changed, and there are new roles emerging. I think it's more important to really hire and focus on the potential and on the skills that are that helps employees to survive the changes. So I'm really happy to see a company which really implements this strategy. So yeah, I just want to share my excitement and leave the words and the space for our attendees so they can ask questions.
It looks like that we were very, very clear in the presentation, so everything is understandable, and I think that's great. So basically,
we have a question.
Oh, great!
So, Malgorzata, how do you know that someone who is super performing or okay is also high potential? What criteria do you apply? How do you prepare your leaders to unleash high potential among their team members?
Yeah, so we have a simple tool for this, and thank you for this question. Manager is the one who is evaluating it. Then the peer managers are calibrating it. So it's not only one person opinion, but as well opinion, direct superior is evaluating it on aspiration. How big is the aspiration? How big is the ability? Ability and aspiration is for us quite important. Does the person shows I can do more, I want to do more, I am willing to learn more, give me more tasks, give me something that this is something what is potentially my growth. If you show your growth story as a growth development story. This is something where we employee manager or direct superior evaluates it, and then the peer managers are evaluating it. So it's not only one manager, but as well the peers needs to see the person who is showing the growth potential. So therefore, that's the story. And then in the last stage, HR and the employee talk about the career growth, and we are doing on the HR side the checklist. How big the talent, so we have something, what we call it, a talent checklist with the 10, 20 questions, where HR in the top of career development plan talks to employee, do you want a new position? Would you like to learn skills? Do you have time to learn skills? Are you willing to relocate? Are you willing to change the boss? Are you willing to change the area of responsibility? Therefore, we have a different criteria, but they are mostly about checking the aspiration and checking the ability. How do you prepare your leaders to unleash the high potential? So we have a dozen of leadership development program, and this is the something what we, how to say, constantly working. I'm not sure are we super successful, because with the leaders for us is the biggest. How we are trying to learn them, how that they are inspiration, how that they have a culture of leadership, how that they give the feedback, given us feedback, how that they engage employees, how they transform the changes, how to be with the purpose in their department. So these are the techniques we are working with them, because these techniques will help them to unleash we believe they will unleash the high potential among their team members, if they are mostly someone who is a mentor, who knows how to engage, how to make it inspiration to them. I'm not sure, and I don't want to make a shiny picture. I'm not sure are we there yet. It's a big, hard work, but this is something what we are aiming for.
Thank you very much, Ivan. We have, and thanks to all participants, we have several questions now. So there is a question, what exactly you mean in purpose and well-being section, possibility for giving back? So from the human-centric approach you share.
For us is important, and this is something very deeply in the culture of the company. And this is what we call it corporate volunteering. We believe that if we give back to the community by teaching the kids, teaching the teachers, teaching the community on internet safety, on responsible technology, on future skills, on inspirations on the technologies, is but as well the green stuff is something what will, if you give back to the community will give it back to you. And this volunteering story is quite important and inheriting in the culture of the company. And we see a lot of teams where teams say, let's all of us work with the kids to teach them the future skills. So let's all work to teach the parents how to be responsible in internet safety. Let's do green work in the woods, cleaning the rivers, cleaning the woods. So, and for all of this, we give to all those groups free day of work, paid leave. So they can have fun, they can go for lunch, they can have inspiration of giving it back. And this is something very strong part of our culture. And giving it back is mostly volunteering in key areas: future skills, responsible technology, internet safety, and green and this kind of environmental stuff.
Great. Great, thank you. So we have the next question is coming from Netko Gesher. He is asking whether it would be possible to share how do you develop your senior leaders, so CEO, CFO.
Yeah, so I can hear, and Violeta was having a session with us, so she knows. For us, executive development programs are developed primarily centrally from the headquarters in Vienna, based on succession list, and mostly we are using the top executive schools for this. However, on the local senior leaders, we are quite a lot working on team coaching or individual coaching and team coaching, how that we develop who are our personalities, how they act, how they do it, how they work together, and how we can unleash the potential of the group. And some of them as well have the personal coaches. So mostly individual coaching, team coaching, and executive development programs on top executive institutions.
Yes, and if I may add, related to the team interactions. So basically, when we discussed, we made a conclusion that the continuity is extremely important. The development does not happen, after one time, any sort of developmental intervention. So it is something that requires time and effort, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we have a question from Dagmar. I'm working for an outsourcing consulting company in Prague, and we have a very high fluctuation among young people during the first year, 35%. How do you motivate them in your company to stay? Plus, there is a problem to motivate management team partners that they are highly technically skilled, but they are not leaders according to the modern standards. Yes, yes. These are some of the typical challenges, I would say, recently. So
Yeah.
how do you see it, Ivan?
I don't know how to tell you, I don't know what to tell you. And the same problem. New generation come, they don't like it and they leave. We have the same fluctuation. So this is something I don't know how to resolve it. I think they are, for us, the only thing that we see works better, clear career path when they enter, that they have a clear career path. After 3 months, you will be this. After 6 months, you will be this. After 12 months, you will be this. So they know, they can predict where they will be, number one. Number two, mentor. Someone who is them with the hands, who is working with them, who is them inspiration, and this is on the managers. We as well have the last leading Gen Z is the special education that we are working. And this is something for the managers we will be working quite strongly. How did the highly technical skilled managers become as well inspirational people leaders for Gen Z as well.
Thanks. Jana, you wanted to add something, please? No?
No, I was just agreeing very strongly with Ivan what he said. So with a clear career path, that's something I see many people don't have, and it's when you don't know where you are going, it's not really motivating you to go because you don't know where you are heading. So also from the psychological perspective, this is really important and great you have it. And we have a last question. From Malgorzata again, who asked one previously, like, what is the biggest challenge for you now with talent management compared to the past?
They are impatient. The new generations become impatient, and we cannot serve their wishes so fast as they would like to grow. I always say 2 years of experience, senior programmer. There is no theory that you can become. This is like you become a super influential coach after 1 year of coaching in HR community. I simply don't believe it. I don't simply see that you can, and they're impatient, and this is the biggest challenge. They say, okay, I'm now on the talent list. This is my wish. I would like to be team leader in programming. Hope position will come till summer. This is the most of our reflection. Yes, but you need to learn how to lead, and you need to go to new managers program, and you need to pass 10 trainings, and you will get a mentor in the process. Okay, but when you will get the position? And this is all the time discussion. I'm like oversimplifying it, but this is how the real life works.
Thank you. I must say, once again, thank you for being very open and transparent. We appreciate it a lot. Do we have any more questions from the participants? Please use. We have 2 more minutes, so you can use them. If not, Ivan, what would be, let's say, a summary, or if you could just in few words tell us. So basically, how do we navigate talent management in a constantly changing world? So what are the key conclusions?
Yeah. So I would say, being individual, very individual. Each person has a different wish. Being all the time in contact through HR or through a mentor or through superior. Keep it alive. It's every month talking to an employee, to a talent. And career path shows for us quite strong story. If they know where they are heading, if they have the vision, this is something where we are then we have a bigger chance to have them with us.
Thank Thank you very much. We appreciate everything that you. I think it's very useful, or at least we have some topics to think about and dive in deeper. So Jana, thank you for a wonderful preparation, for all the prep up that you did for the webinar, and of course, okay. I would like to especially thank to all of the participants that were present, and I hope that we will be joining together also in the future on different topics. So enjoy the rest of your day, and all the best. Good luck with talents.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.